My name is Carolyn, and I talk to the spirit world. Travel with me to a dimension filled with love, light, and joyful surprises. Welcome to Carolyn's Psychic Playroom.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Carolyn's Psychic Playroom. We are in mid-February, and it's time to celebrate what has almost become a tradition. I believe that I've done it every year for the past 3 years that I've been on Cambridge Cable TV. And even though I cannot do it live, I am going to reprise a little bit of it, and this is my special Valentine's Day love edition of Carolyn's Psychic Playroom. And that means that I have as my guest the inimitable husband of mine, John Voigt. And I'm going to play an interview that I shot with him a couple of years ago here on the Psychic Playroom for those of you that missed it. But before I bring John's interview on, as always, I like to also offer a little bit of a reading for our collective here. So, as you know, we're in mid-February, and by the time you're watching this, it'll either be Valentine's Day soon, or maybe you will have already had Valentine's Day by the time you're actually watching this, because it's going to be on YouTube, but it's also going to be airing on the station a number of different times. So what I'm going to do is to ask the cards to talk to us about the love in our lives. And that can be either a lover, right? It can be a romantic relationship, but it might also be just friends, family, anyone that's close to you. This is about the love in your life, and obviously, what with everything else that's going on in the world these days, we want to increase the amount of love in our lives, right? So, let me first ask the Andinkara cards. These are sacred symbols that come from Ghana, and someone got the brilliant idea to put them on tarot cards. So I'm going to just shuffle these cards and see what qualities or characteristics might come up in terms of what we need to know about bringing more love. We can always use more love, right? No matter how much you have, you can always have more. So here I am. I'm going to shuffle these, and I'm going to ask the cards, show us what this group needs in terms of a quality or characteristic to bring more love. All right, so more love. I'm pulling a card, and this is charity. Charity. So, you know the saying, you've got to give love to get love. Now is the time to be kind. Now is the time to be generous. Now is the time to give, not in a pro forma way or just in a just cuz way, but sincerely give from your heart. And when we do that, we automatically bring more love into our lives, both love from others and love, self-love, because we know that we're doing something that is good. And I don't know about you, but I always get a good feeling when I give money to things I really believe in. If I do something for someone that's important, there's a good feeling that comes with that. So without even worrying about what other people may give us, we will give ourselves something in the way of more love when we are generous and give with charity. So that's one message. I'm also going to do another card, and this, I just got this awesome deck. This is called the African American Tarot. I'm going to show you the little thing of it here. The African American Tarot. This is gorgeous. The cards are gorgeous. The messages are gorgeous. It's a standard tarot deck, but the figures, instead of being the standard tarot figures, are drawn from African mythology or African American ancestors or Black history in general. And so I'm going to ask these cards to show us what else we can learn about our love life. And I think that you'll enjoy getting an opportunity to see these cards because they're just stunning. I really, really like them. So what does this group need to know to bring more love? What do we need? And I think this is obviously is a message for the collective that you can take and interpret it in the way that's best for you. So here I go. You can probably hear me. I'm shuffling. And now I'm spreading these cards out. And the card that comes is, this is the Three of Wands. Okay, the Three of Wands and staffs. And actually, this is interesting because what it looks like to me right here, we've got three hungry wolves looking at this poor little goat who's there innocently eating. And who's going to protect that goat? So what comes to me, and then up in the top is an ancestor, and this is a black cowboy. And actually, since the deck is new to me, I'm going to go ahead and actually take a look in the book and see if it tells us, Three of Wands, who this magical ancestor figure is. It's a wonderful deck, as I say, and very multi-layered, which I like very much. Okay, let me see here. Wands and the Three of Wands, the goat and the hyenas, it says. And what it says is, interestingly, exploration, discovery, boldness, decision, and readiness of spirit. And Nat Love was a, if I'm not mistaken, famous black cowboy who we see here. So being ready to pounce, obviously the hyenas have seized their opportunity with this little goat dude here. I'm kind of feeling for the goat. I don't know about you guys. But anyway, it's about seizing your opportunity and pouncing, hopefully in a way that is not quite as predatory as is indicated in the picture. And I would say, just psychically, if you have people in your life that you feel have maybe been taking advantage of you, bullying you, that you feel a little bit trapped and victimized by your circumstances, this is an opportunity to think about that cowboy riding off in the distance and taking charge of the situation. He would be the one to throw his lasso around these hyenas and get them off this little goat, right? So let's pull another one. Aha. Okay. So this, if I am not mistaken, this is Oshun. In the regular Rider-Waite deck, it's the High Priestess, and they use kind of the same iconography, but this is Oshun, who is the goddess of, the African goddess of love, literally. The feminine, divine feminine love energy. And so, you know, in my view, that you are always safe, always protected, and always surrounded by this divine feminine love energy. And this is whether you're physically in a male body or a female body, because love and the female energy is about the energy of surrendering, the energy of allowing rather than pushing and forcing. It's the energy of surrender, the energy of allowing, the energy of being in that beautiful flow, which is the flow of Oshun in African mythology. She represents the river, and rivers flow, as we know. So I would say keeping yourself in the flow, keeping yourself in alignment with opportunities when they arise, being ready to pounce on them without being predatory about it, remembering our charity, which came from the first card. So we are kind, we are giving, yet we're in the flow, yet we're as ready as a hungry hyena to pounce on an opportunity when it arises. We don't hang back, we don't doubt, we don't worry, we don't wonder. We see an opportunity and we take it. But we take it with charity, and we take it supported with the flowing, beautiful love of the divine feminine. So it's a complicated message, but rather a beautiful message. So hopefully this has been helpful for sort of getting you to bring more love in your life. And that's what it's all about right now. And so I am now going to introduce the clip of my beautiful husband, John Voigt, from an interview that we did, I want to say 2 years ago. And John is, among many things, a musician. He's a writer. He's an author. He's the editor of Qi Journal magazine. He's a Qi master. And in this interview, I spoke with him about many of his interests, but also about Qi, and particularly the Qi energy of love. So take a listen. Hi everybody, Carolyn Wilkins here with a super special love edition of Carolyn's Psychic Playroom.
Silly Psychic Playroom.
I have as my very special guest today, my husband, John Voigt. Now, in addition to being my husband, which is already a wonderful thing, John is also a Qi master, an author, a musician, an editor, and just an all-around Renaissance dude. And so I thought it would be terrific fun to talk to him, since we often talk in our interviews about the whole concept of creativity and spirituality. I thought that it would be fun to talk to John on those topics. So John, I want, if you could, just tell the people a little bit about how you first encountered your spirituality. I know that you're a Taoist and that goes along with your Qi studies. And how can you remember how it was that you first got started? Obviously you didn't grow up as a Taoist, but how did that happen?
Well, I didn't do it. It happened to me. Even before I was born, my mother was an exotic Egyptian dancer for the first pharaoh in Egypt. My father was a drummer. I was in the Navy as a musician, and something was opening me up even further to why I had become a musician. Why a musician? Because of the jazz musician, because of the excitement in the music. And that excitement was opening a door to something more. But what was that more? So I remember this was 1959. So the 60s and all of that spirituality, Californian spirituality of the 60s was just in its budding things. And I found a friend on the ship who was talking to me about Zen Buddhism and all these exotic things. And I didn't know what he was talking about. But again, something's up with this, something's up with this. So I was walking down the street and suddenly it came to me, a divine vision, a vision of what some people call God. It was so beautiful, I didn't even want to put a name on it. And from that point on, I was led into further spiritual searchings in the Sri Ramakrishna Swami Vivekananda order, and then continuing to read and continuing to address the things that are important for me, health-wise, artistically wise, for my music and for my writing. More and more, I saw that, what to call it, gymnastics, energetics, using not only spirit but matter, using the body's electricity, that joy, that excitement that I wanted my music to have, that I want my writings to portray. How do I get it? So studying Qigong opened the doors for that.
That is terrific.
Too many words?
No. John is a writer, if you can't tell. And one thing that I have learned from 33 years of living with John is that in order for him to really answer something, he has to start at the beginning and build the whole thing. So I would like you to talk a little bit about your writing. I know that you were actually published by a very famous publisher who also published a number of highly scandalous books back in the 60s, and that you were involved with that a little bit. And now, of course, your writing has taken a slightly different direction. But could you talk about that a little bit?
How would that be scandalous spiritual writing? I guess that's what I was doing back then. Okay, let's back it up a little bit. I love sound. I named my youngest daughter after Sarasvati, the Hindu goddess of sound, because if you dig it, sound comes out in words and sound comes out in music, but it's that same source, that same urge. So, I love words. My parents said you should be a lawyer when I was a little kid, and the urge to create. So I started doing words and I started writing and getting published. But I think more interestingly now, to help your audience and those people more interested in such things, is it's coming to me as I open this thing up. When I need a situation in what I'm writing, it comes to me, and so much so that right now the new technology, I'm using it, but I'm using it in my own way. So, help. You know the way I write. How should I make this clear? I would re-edit all of this if I were putting it on the computer, of course. This would be the rough stuff that goes down that you hew out the glamorous, beautiful words from.
Oh, no, it's all beautiful words. But I think that many people who might be watching this program might be interested in just how does one get started at all with the idea of writing. Suppose, for example, you have a story that you want to tell. There's something you want to write about. Do you have a tip or maybe a suggestion for a person like that, how they might get started?
Yeah, read. And read some more, and then read some more. Be very wary of what friends and relatives tell you about. I love your mystery. I think it's going to be careful of that. Read what you like, and then learn from that. Yeah?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And then write. Write every day. If you can't write, then copy the prose of the authors that you like, or the or the fiction writer from some magazine, nonfiction writer from some magazine that you might like. The Chinese do that, the Confucian studies. You copied the greats and it picked it up from it. And if you can't do that, drink some espresso coffee. No, I don't know. Yeah, if you can't read or if you can't write, then go to sleep and see if you can dream some stuff. Seriously, nice. Dreams are important.
Yeah, dreams are powerful. Dreams are powerful. They say that E equals MC squared, that Einstein saw that in a daydream or something.
It comes
like
to
that.
you. If I'm saying one basic thing, stay open, be aware, feel your body, feel your emotions. When you're reading, stay aware, be alert, be like a Chinese monk warrior. You're always alive, you're always aware. The Zen koans, like what's the sound of one hand clapping? Baby, once you hear it, or don't hear it, you don't care about it anymore. You're alert. You've been made alert. It comes to you, all right? Now that I've confused your audience.
No, I don't think so. So I mentioned 3 things, and we've touched on 2 of them. Mm-hmm. One is the spiritual piece and your Taoism. One is a little bit about you as a writer. But John is also, and perhaps to some, best known as an extremely excellent bass player who has played with everyone from Captain Kangaroo to Chick Corea to numerous people. And so obviously we don't have time to go into all the various things that
we don't want to.
But if you could just tell people a little bit about what you're doing now with your music. You have a project with Josh Rosen, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that if you do the proper studies, do the spiritual work and all of that, it comes to you. So I'm doing a gig a few years ago, and a guy I know who was working with Carolyn at the time, Josh Rosen, came up, and he was wonderful. He knew what I was talking about. He knew my music. He played. We started playing together. It was a dream. So right now we're using the confines and the constrictions of the COVID-19 and the technology. I'm laying down bass things. I send them to him. He lays things down on top of it. He sends them back to me. I send them back to him, and we build things. But then magic happens, and a friend of mine, an artist, but he had artist block. He couldn't draw. So I had him, as a Qi master teacher, I had him just drawing lines. He could do that. And Josh and I started putting music to the lines. And then I opened up no, I didn't open up. It fell out of my bookcase, the subway map of New York, and I looked, and it fell open to where northern part of Manhattan, Harlem is, and the streets were like George's drawings. I said, whoa. So I built a thing, and Josh built a thing, and Carolyn's scatting, and it's on YouTube. It doesn't cost anything. Just look up Harlem, John.voigt. You add it on there, the clips. And so you get a visual, a sound, a dramatic, and some of the best singing going in one sentence from her. Just plug it in just to hear her. I won't give her line away. So it's coming. It's using those kind of things and improvising on helping people, using music as a therapeutic tool, as a tool of friendship and love. And when it comes to you, you nail it and you give it a shot. And you try to make it work. And it's been working, and it's a wonderful thing. It's a gift.
Oh, that's beautiful. And I must say, speaking of friendship and love, here we are celebrating. We've been doing this every year, I want to say, for the past 3 years, and even pandemic notwithstanding and all that. He didn't come into the station. He did it from home. But nonetheless, we are here. And so I hope that you've enjoyed this little taste of John.voigt. Is there anything else, last words of wisdom on creativity and any final tip on enhancing one's creativity.
If you got to do it, do it. If you don't got to do it, don't do it. I'm serious. Why go through all the aggravation? Oh, I can't write it. The words aren't coming. Oh, there's no gigs. You only do it because you have to, and there's a joy in it that you're not going to get anywhere else. But you're not getting the joy. Well, that's another. More spiritual lessons are needed.
No. Joy is what it's all about. And so, as always, it is my joy to have this little moment with you, John. Thank you so much for being my guest on the Playroom.
So, as a true musician, as a true writer, you're going to have the URLs on the side, right, for my things.
Absolutely.
Some of the things.
All right. Thank you, John.
Love you, darling.
Well, I hope that you enjoyed that interview. I know I did. And I hope that you are having a wonderful Valentine's Day. If you're watching this after Valentine's Day, I hope that you had a wonderful one. But in my mind, February, the whole month should be celebrated as Valentine's Day. And in fact, why don't we celebrate love every day? So I'm wishing you love and joy, and I'm wishing you all the happiness and best. I'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode of Carolyn's Psychic Playroom. As always, if you would like to receive a live reading on the show, please write me at PsychicPlayroom@gmail.com, and I would be most honored to read for you. Before I go, I'm also going to just put up on here for your entertainment a song that I wrote a while ago. This is a song of love, actually, that I wrote for my husband. And I made a little video, and I believe I gave it to him on Valentine's Day several years ago. But I'm just going to share you this little video. The song's about, 5 minutes long. And yeah, enjoy it. A little love music to keep you in the season of love.
Tough but tender, sweet but sour. You're my staunchest defender. You're ever the man of the hour. I just can't remember a time when you weren't mine forever and ever. Our souls will intertwine, and we will shine. My beautiful love.
Okay, everybody, that's it for this episode. I hope you liked the song. I hope it puts you in a romantic mood and a mood of love. And if possible, stay in a mood of love all month. Why not? Remember charity. Remember that we need to remain in the flow of Oshun, the divine goddess of love. and we need to be ready to take advantage of opportunities as they arise. All right, be well, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.
Thoughts are things with the energy to make life better for you and for me. Touch the light.